everyone, welcome back to the channel. What a weekend it has been. Well, what a 4 days it's been since this international break started. I mean, we got the job done tonight, didn't we? But it's not been good. I've not enjoyed these England performances at all, really. Been really disappointing, and it leaves Lee Carsley, doesn't it, with some questions still to answer. And the FA, some questions to answer as well in terms of what they're going to do about who England's next manager is going to be. So you can see in the chat tonight, tonight's poll of the week is, should England stick with Lee Carsley? Get voting. Let me know your thoughts. At the minute we're on, how many are we on? We're on 6 votes. What's the result at the minute? 67% so far saying yes, 33% saying no. Mr. Pizza Delivery, Gary, don't forget Ireland versus Greece starts at 7:45. Please give us a few updates. Will do, mate. It is on my... I'll have it on my phone. New artists, we were better, but I think we could have done more. Josh, evening. Gary, Gate 102, evening. Evening, mate. I like Carsley, but if the rumours are true for me, Tuchel should be our man, as he's not just a world-class manager, but also an amazing tournament manager. Russell's voted. Thanks, Russell. Yeah, I mean, look, after this week, I mean, I came in, and it's no surprise, anyone who's watched my videos, I came in really confident against Greece. I just thought, before this week, I wouldn't say England played well under Lee Carsley. You know, those opening games against Ireland and Finland, although it took us a while to break Finland down at home, I thought England were playing okay. But that Greece game was probably... I'm trying to think if it's the worst England game I've seen live. And I was there, and some of the games that instantly come to my mind are the Iceland loss earlier this year, the Hungary hammering that we had at Wolves under Southgate, where we lost 4-1. I would argue that was probably the worst. Even though we didn't lose by as big of a margin, I think Greece on the night were just superior to us in every single way. And I know he experimented, he was trying different things. Kane was injured, he played a false number 9 or whatever you want to call it. And people were calling for this, let's be real. People have been calling for him to chuck all these attacking players on the pitch. That's exactly what he did, and it didn't work. I mean, not only did it not work, it did feel like they'd just been chucked out there and said, go and do what you want, lads. Just go and do what you want. There was no structure. Every time Greece got forward, they looked like scoring. I mean, what was it? 3 times a goal disallowed, 1 goal cleared off the line, 1 shot cleared off the line, sorry. So, you know, Greece could have scored 5 or 6. I know they didn't. I get that. They didn't score that, but Greece could have won 5 or 6-0 at Wembley on Thursday night. And this goes back to the Iceland game earlier this year, the way England have played over the Euros in the summer as well. And it's not about, this isn't about, you know, exaggerating England's form at the minute, but we've got to look at some of the performances we've put in over the last 12 to 18 months, and it's fair to say we're not that great. We're not that great, particularly at the minute. The players are there. There's been a real problem, though, hasn't there, fitting them all in to a system. Now tonight was a slight improvement. I do think Finland had chance to equalise. I think England still looked very poor at the back. Didn't create a lot neither going forward. I still don't think it was great. I still think if we played that way tonight and played Greece again or someone better than Finland, we would have got beat again. So I think we only won tonight because Finland were worse. Just a worse opposition. Didn't make the best use of the ball, but they got themselves in certainly some really good positions without doing an awful lot. The defence is just a massive worry, and I know this goes back to Southgate. It does, and we were defensively usually quite sound under Southgate, but in terms of our worry about the defence has been there for a long time, and it's really shining through now. And we're just all over the place. And you'll have seen from my preview video I did before tonight, I picked Finland to beat us, and to be honest with you, it wouldn't have surprised me. Even after watching that game now tonight, I genuinely, I just think we're papering over the cracks. I do think we're papering over the cracks. I thought we were poor again tonight. Really poor. Matt's channel. Hi, Gary. I hope you're doing good. I want to judge Carsley based on November. I will be active in the chat after I finish preparing my food. No worries, mate. Josh, it was better. Not brilliant, but okay. Tonight has proven we have to have a midfielder play alongside Rice, whether that's Mainu, Wharton or Gomez. Gomez will probably be my pick. Was great. Yeah, he had a really good game. He did have a really good game, and it was just passing that led to the goal. The first thing that puts me off with Carsley wasn't the performance against Greece, as he learnt from his mistakes, but it was afterwards saying how he wants to go back to the 21s. Lee has no interest. I mean, I was listening to the radio on the way back home from Wembley, and someone rang up the radio and says, oh, he clearly doesn't want the job. And it was a bit like the person was implying that he sent England out on Thursday night to lose the game, which is obviously ridiculous. But I do have to be honest, I was surprised by some of the comments that seem to have been made by Lee Carsley since that result. And ultimately, that result on Thursday night, did have a knock-on impact. All of a sudden, you had Thomas Tuchel at the back pages as the FA have reached out to him. And it was just, that came after that performance Thursday night. And it does seem a bit like, has that cost him? Has that already cost him? Does he want the job? I think that's the thing as well. I think Thursday night is going to live long in the memory. Really, I think it's going to have a big impact moving forward, and probably rightly it should, because we were that far off it. I mean, I'm just going on my phone to look at a poll. I did put a poll out a day ago regarding Lee Carsley's position. Sorry, Wednesday night. I keep saying Thursday night, Wednesday night. No, it was Thursday night, wasn't it? Thomas Tuchel is in line for the England job. Would you be happy with his appointment? 91 votes, 62% have said yes, 38% have said no. And I've also seen some people obviously tweet out the fact that he's German or that he's not English, and that shouldn't be the case. End of the day, I think we all agree we want the best person for the job. But he's not a unanimous popular decision, Thomas Tuchel, despite his credentials. I don't think he's an overwhelming favourite amongst a huge majority of England fans. Southgate got better as manager as he went on with the job. I think Carsley will do the same and grow and get better. He knows the players in the vision of the FA better than someone like Tuchel, says Gate 102. So sounds like you're very much in favour, mate, of sticking with Lee Carsley, it seems. Encore football, okay, and adequate for England. Gomez was good. New artists just don't get this squad as everything yet. We can't execute well. I think it's, and this is what the worry is. I've certainly grown up. I don't know the age of everyone in this chat, but I've certainly grown up constantly being told as a child that England have these amazing players and we've got all this talent, particularly in midfield and up front, blah, 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 blah. But the problem is that when it comes to actually playing as a team, we weren't able to do it. And it's the one thing Southgate did. One thing Southgate got right. He made us very difficult to beat. 9 times out of 10, we had bad nights, but 9 times out of 10, we were very, very difficult to beat. And granted, we didn't lose tonight. When we didn't look really like losing, probably fair to say. But I'm worried now we're going through a generational period where how do we fit all these players in? And before you know it, we're 5, 6, 7 years down the line, 2 tournaments later, and we've blown it again. Producing these players and blown it. Players have to miss out. Foden missing out tonight was the right call. Foden was dropped. Pickford was dropped. Don't agree with that, but we'll come on to that in a second. But Foden being dropped, he doesn't do anything. He hasn't done enough in an England shirt, so it was the right call to make, and you've got to drop. We've realised certainly now some of these star players, or certainly all of them, cannot play. Russell, I don't want to get behind Carsley. However, if what we've heard is right, his heart doesn't seem in it going forward. I'm not sure I want that, and I'm not convinced by Tuchel. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. Who else? And I keep hearing that. That's the first thing that comes to, who else? Who else comes in and people are going on about Pep? Pep is not going to do it. And he's not the manager to do it, I don't think. He hasn't got the time to instill his style of football. He'll only see these players 4 or 5 times a week. Pep is not the answer. Klopp isn't, because he's now taken a really cushy number with the Red Bull group. So he's just swanning around the world, saying a few things and leaving again. So he's not coming to England. It's Eddie Howe, Graham Potter coming back up. Do we really want either of those two? This is the problem. Who else? Encore football IQ is average with this team, to be honest. They're showing signs that there's... And this does go back to before the Euros, where this form is it's not shifting, is it? We're not playing a very good brand of football. We look troubled every time anyone seems to approach us. I mean, every time we lose the ball trying to attack, even though we're not being very effective in attack, every time we lose the ball, we look like we're going to concede every single time. I think Kazi will get better not only on the pitch but off it as well. He has hardly had to deal with the press and media scrutiny, but I feel he will adapt if he continues. Well, maybe, but I think the point is does he want it? You don't want to be giving it. I mean, Southgate didn't want it, did he? And he went on to be one of our best managers we've ever had. But yeah, famously, he didn't want the damn job. Josh Phillips, maybe this is stupid, but I don't want a German. If we have to have a foreign manager just from anywhere except Germany and Scotland. I mean, I hear you, Josh, but none of us would care, would we, if we went on and won something? None of us would give a damn. None of us would care. I would be Tuchel in if Carsley doesn't succeed in November. I mean, yeah, he's going to get the November fixtures. I don't think anything's going to change from then. And obviously, we can still qualify for League A because we would go into a playoff if we remain second in this group. So it's not over. Josh Phillips and add Argentina to that list. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I really wouldn't like an Argentinian manager or a Scottish manager. I would probably agree with you. German, I'm not so sure really. I'm not so sure. New artist agreed. Foden just sucks in England. He's just not done it enough, has he? To considering the attacking talent we've got, and he's not working for him, and I don't know why. I mean, I keep going on about it, but I know Rice scored tonight and Bellingham scored Thursday night, but they're not doing enough for me in the rest of the game for 80, 90 minutes. I don't know, goals win games and the scoring, and particularly Bellingham comes up with the goods at important times. But again, Thursday night, I forgot Bellingham was even on the pitch. Large portion of the match tonight, I forgot Bellingham was even on the pitch. Rice, I'm not sure what he's doing apart from running around a bit like a headless chicken. I might be being a bit harsh here, but I'm just expecting more from these players that everyone consistently is telling me and everybody else that they're absolutely world-class, outstanding players, because I'm not seeing it in an England shirt at all. One positive is Grealish is now looking to start to contribute. Couple of goals in his last couple of starts. Much better. We've been too over-reliant on Saka in the past. The reason I say Tuchel could be the man is unlike Pep or Klopp. He's a great tournament manager, and I don't rate Potter, but how could work, although I think it's too early in his career at the minute. Mr. Pizza delivery. Pickford was poor against Greece, gave the ball to them, and Greece nearly scored when it just got cleared off the line. Henderson was better and solid, and he may start against Greece in November. I mean, yeah, there's no getting away from the fact Pickford had a shocker. I mean, everyone did though. Pickford had a shocker though Thursday night. I do think he's one of England's best ever goalkeepers though. I've said that before, but maybe. I think the problem is not many of our other goalkeepers are good with their feet. Every top team has a holding midfielder. I've never seen a successful team without one, says Encore Football. Gate 102 podcast, unpopular opinion, but if Kazi doesn't want it, maybe Gary O'Neill. Maybe. I think he would. I certainly do think that would be an unpopular opinion. Let's be honest, name a suitable Scottish manager, says Russell. Yeah, no, I can't think of one. Josh Phillip, if Carsley wants the job, I'd give it him. Yes, Thursday was terrible, but he tried to do something different and it failed. He realised that and changed it, so he proves he's willing to be flexible. Yeah, I mean, look, we've got to give him credit. He did change it, but he had no choice, did he? There was no way he was going to try and attempt that again. But this weekend, I keep saying weekend, I'm including the Thursday in that, but these past 4 days have just been, it's been hard. It's been hard following England because it's just not been great. It has not been great. If Carsley wants the job, Cole Palmer wasn't good either. Cole Palmer's had a shocking 2 games. Really poor. Offered nothing at all. England having a German manager is not like having a Real Madrid legend at Barcelona, for example. Josh Phillips says David Moyes. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't think I'd want David Moyes anywhere near the England squad. Look, I mean, after Thursday night, I was just a bit like, right, this is bad. This is really, really bad, because I think the worrying thing was, even when we've been trying to be all out attack, as it were, when we've supposedly got Bellingham, Foden, Saka, everyone other than Kane on the pitch, and we didn't create a thing. And we haven't really created. We haven't looked free-flowing. We haven't looked threatening. What I'm getting at is we've looked poor at the back and poor going forward. It's not like either area of the pitch is sorted here. And in the past, we've maybe been all right going forward, but struggled at the back, or vice versa. All over the pitch at the minute, I'm not comfortable with the way this England team are playing. I'm really not. And it's really thrown a cat amongst the pigeons this weekend. It really, really has. Keep commenting, guys. As you can see, fan of the week again tonight, 8:30. We'll be calling that out. If you haven't done yet, 13 votes in the poll. Scroll down or wherever it is on the chat now. Should England stick with Lee Carsley? Make sure you give that a vote. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. And just to let everybody know, because I know some people have regularly contributed super chats, for example, which I incredibly appreciate, I have launched this week a membership to the channel. So if you want to join that, I think the lowest is like from $2.99 or something. But essentially, it's for those people who have been putting super chats in or whatever to put anything in and then get something back in return. So there's different perks that I'm putting in there because I do really appreciate everything that, any support, even just you guys watching, is more than enough. But if you do feel that inclined to support the channel, there are now perks in place if you wish to do so. So things like members-only chats, members-only live streams, early access to new videos, priority replies to comments, so on, so on, so on. So check that out if you feel inclined to do so. Thank you so much. If not, regardless of that, thank you so much for being here anyway, as we work towards the World Cup. And ultimately, it's a good time at the minute because even though England are playing poorly, we're back in action again in 4 weeks' time. 4 weeks' time, England are back in action to finish this Nations League group off. Obviously, the away fixture against Greece and the home fixture against the Republic of Ireland. So 2 very interesting games to come up, particularly depending on how this game finishes tonight with Greece and Republic of Ireland. Hopefully, it will be still in England's hands, but let's see. It's going to be an interesting 4 weeks ahead. But yeah, as I've said before, looking at the calendar, key dates, so month's time, the England fixtures again, and then I am still working on that quiz. It will happen, 100%. I'm thinking maybe get the calendar out. Maybe we do it on the 22nd of December or the 29th. Maybe the Christmas, between the Christmas week and New Year, we do a I don't know, either the 22nd or 29th. I'll put a poll out on my community page. We'll do a quiz on the channel on one of the live streams of the weekend. I've promised that numerous times, and I am working, keep saying it, still working on this documentary for why England haven't won anything in our lifetime. Did some filming at Wembley Thursday night, still working on it, got quite a bit more filming to do. But the idea, like I've said to you before, is I'm going to limit the amount of videos I release between fixtures, but in that period I'm going to be working on bigger and hopefully better videos. So quality over quantity, and then just deliver the videos during obviously preview matches and live streams and so forth. So just to give that structure to the channel really, rather than me putting videos out when England aren't playing, struggling to think of ideas really. So yeah, all in the pipeline. I'd still, because okay, match channel. As poor as England were against Greece, both goals were avoidable. 0 to 5 players make a tackle for first, and the ball should have cleared before the second goal. Encore football, Southgate never did experiments. It was always Hendo and Gallagher for friendlies against Australia and Scotland. No, you're right, he didn't experiment. It was just the same people all the time, wasn't it? I like the idea of a member-only stream, but other football channels I know don't charge that high of a fee for that. No problem. I mean, don't worry, Matt. I'm completely new to this. I can change things around completely here, you mate. But I'll have a look. Yeah, I've literally set it up this week. So as you can see, the perks will change. It does state that on there. I can change the perks around to see what suits people better, really. Let's hope we can beat Greece this next time. Absolutely, mate. I can't wait to face them again, because the amount of grief I've got in my shorts clip for that prediction, and my preview video for the Greece game is horrendous. So I can't wait. I can't wait for that return fixture, and fingers crossed we can get one back over on him, because I've been absolutely beasted on my comments this week. So I need some bragging rights back. We need some bragging rights back as England fans. Thinking about kick-off, we'd take a 3-1 victory without knowing the performance. Yeah, you're right, Russell. Absolutely right, mate. We would have done, particularly after Thursday night. Josh Phillip, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The first member. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Welcome. Wow, amazing. Really humble, mate. Thank you so much. Encore Football, I'll give Carsley credit for proving you cannot play 5 attacking mids and a Man City 2-3-5 formation. I mean, it was it was like fun. It was. I think I said on my preview video for tonight's game, it felt like it just felt like he was under 21s, or even like an under 15 game where he was just saying, yeah, just don't worry about a system, just go and play, just go and do what you want to do. I think with the managerial situation, players maybe don't feel so confident with it all. A state of limbo, perhaps. Maybe, mate. I do think that's obviously it's the authority, isn't it? You know, if he's calling these squads up, and players should be looking to World Cup qualifiers and obviously to the World Cup. Yeah, it does cause a little bit of, issues, doesn't it? Because players aren't thinking, hang on a minute, I need to perform now, because in 6 months' time, 7 months' time, or in a year and a half's time, or whatever, it's going to affect potentially my place on the World Cup squad. That threat isn't there at the minute, because we don't know who the manager is going to be. So, yeah, absolutely, I think that's a really good point, Russell. New artist, yes, it was an absolute humiliation. We need to win against Greece, absolutely. I need something back. I mean, I'd love it if we went there and put 4 or 5 past them, but I doubt we will. Josh Phillips, I'm a bit disappointed Watkins didn't play much this international break, though he should have started against Greece. Look, that is the one thing, Josh. I mean, let's put some credit on Ollie Watkins' name, because every time he's come on, he's been a big difference. He's been a huge difference in the way England play, stretching the play. I mean, Ollie Watkins, again, for that third goal tonight, for Rice's goal, just stretching it, running at a defender, taking someone on, running at a defender. It was so direct, and they didn't know how to deal with it. And it's his pace, wanting to get in behind. It was brilliant when he came on. Really, really good. Cole Palmer playing defensive midfield on Thursday still feels like a fever dream. It does, mate. Look, I know I've criticised Palmer over this, and people are saying, he's not played in the right position, blah, blah, blah. But he's been poor. We've got to call him out. He's been really, really poor. He's still a footballer at the end of the day. He's not... Lee Carsley's played him slightly out of position. And tonight, he wasn't in his probably... He hasn't played defensive tonight, and he just... Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I think that's where, I don't know. It's just really disappointing. Particularly the hype coming into this. It was all on Palmer, wasn't it? Maybe that's got to him. Maybe the hype has got to him, because it was all about Cole Palmer coming into the match, coming into these fixtures. Maybe it's got to him. Maybe if the FA come out to defend Carsley, players might wake up and stop being complacent. Watkins is a super sub at best. Very good cross, but that's it. I mean, the problem is, someone said earlier, I can't remember who it was in the chat, but I'm sure someone said, surely, it might have been in the group chat actually, but someone said, surely Kane has to be dropped for the World Cup. If we drop Kane, who comes in? It's got to be Ollie Watkins, hasn't it? It's got to be. But then if that's the case, do you play him more now? I've got to say, Ollie Watkins has always looked one of the better England players every time he's been on the pitch. Every single time. Much better performance than against Greece, says Foundation. I would agree with that, but then I would also say that's not very hard. So yeah, I would agree with that, but surely the only way was up from that performance. Kane was so poor. We look so much better with pace up front. Yeah, now, I mean, the problem is without Kane... And the problem is we didn't know because he didn't play another striker. But certainly without Kane, on Thursday night, we looked horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And I know tonight, again, it's a bit like, what is he doing? But it does link up the play. Encore Football, Palmer needs minutes for England, but he's still new to the setup. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. And I'm not as critical as him as what I am over Foden. Foden has had more than enough opportunities in this England squads now and teams, and he's not done it. He's just not done it at all. And I thought it was interesting how Foden was the one player that Lee Carsley felt should miss out tonight. I think that says a lot. I think that really, really says a lot. Going back to the poll, 17 votes in, so if you've not voted, please do so. You'll find it in the chat. Should England stick with Lee Carsley? 59% saying yes, 41% saying no currently. So still a slight favour for Lee Carsley, despite the performances. I thought Madueke looked bright when he came on, used both feet well and very direct. Says Gate 102, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Very much a Lee Carsley player, isn't he? He's a big fan of him from under 21s, but I've got to say, I can't knock Madueke. He seems threatening when he comes on. He's very direct. Again, what I was just saying, I want players to be like. So yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Would you want as England manager, Gary, if Carsley doesn't want it? Madueke looked lively, in my opinion, says Zach as well. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm really struggling. I am, honest. I can't make my mind up who I want to be England manager if it isn't Lee Carsley. I still like the idea, and what I don't want to do is to cloud my judgment. I don't want this idea of you have to recruit at the youth level and have this same philosophy coming through in a system where the under 21 comes up to the senior, and I promote. I want that to happen because that's what's worked for other international nations and countries, and has proved very successful. However, I don't want that to be the be all and end all. And ultimately, if Lee Carsley isn't the right man, we've got to be brave enough to make the decision. I just don't think there's an outstanding candidate there. But then is that the reason to keep hold of Lee Carsley? I mean, that was going back to the argument with Gareth Southgate. Was the argument to keep Gareth Southgate simply because there was no one else better? Like a better option is what I mean. It's hard. I mean, I think what's bizarre is that between us all, it is hard to think of a manager who... I mean, is this the state of managers in today's game? I can't think of many managers who I think... Yeah, I can't think of any managers, really, that I think, oh, I'd love for them to manage England, no matter even if it was just an open book. So, are we overly critical on managers? Do we need to give someone the opportunity? Why not Lee Carsley? I've got to admit, when I first heard about Thomas Tuchel, in terms of the rumours being taken more seriously, I wouldn't be disappointed if Thomas Tuchel got the job. I really wouldn't. I think he's got a good record. He's a really, really good manager. I understand the German side and all that sort of stuff, but there's no doubt he's a good manager. And probably out of managers in terms of who are out of work at the moment, possibly the best manager available. Possibly. Someone may disagree with me in the chat, but he's up there, isn't he? He's certainly up there. And I think if any of us, in terms of your club who you support, none of us would moan about Thomas Tuchel coming in and managing your club. So it's one of those, really. I wouldn't be disappointed, put it that way. But at the same time, I don't think I'd be... I mean, would I be disappointed if Lee Carsley... Take Thursday night out of the equation, and I'd still be absolutely fine with Lee Carsley. I think I am a bit scarred from that performance because it was so poor. And that's what's worrying me. I think I'm a bit fixated on that match and how bad it was. New artist, don't know if it's just me, but ever since I watched England since 2018, they always pass the ball back instead of making an attack, and they still do it now. What is the strategy behind this? I think that's always been the case, mate. Historically, England fans have always cried out for that more direct and attacking approach. How many England games I've watched in years, and at halftime everyone's saying they just need to move it quicker. If I ever hear that statement again, they just need to come out and move it quicker in the second half. And then what happens? They come out, move it quicker in the second half, and we score. Honestly, I'd be a millionaire if I had £1 every single time that's been said. And for some reason, there is this reluctance sometimes to take a man on, or a fear to lose the ball under England. And I don't get that. You've got to... Ultimately, we have a lot of the ball. We're passing it around the box, but then no one seems to want to commit, or there's an overcommitment at the wrong time. I mean, there was a time tonight where Palmer had a pass out to the side and he turned back in. And it was just, there was a few times where you just think, no, go a bit more direct. And that's exactly what Ollie Watkins did. And we got a goal from it. Potter, Howe, Tuchel and Klopp do not impress me. None of them tick all the boxes, aside from the German thing. Yeah, this is the problem. No one's perfect. No manager is perfect. Madueke, Palmer, Grealish, Kane in that order in a 4-2-3-1. I think would be the best out of Palmer and Kane together. Saka can probably be out wide too. You've got to play Saka. Saka's our... Yeah, I think we've missed Saka going off injured in the last game as well. Warline 94, Ancelotti. I mean, I'm a massive Ancelotti fan. I'm a huge Carlo Ancelotti fan. Would he come to England? I mean, we don't have good form with previous Italian managers. Well, we've only had one, but you know what I mean. It didn't end well. It did not end well. But would he come to England? I'm not sure he would. He's got a good thing going off there at the minute. I don't see Germany as much of a rival post-2010, says Match Channel. Maybe so. I wouldn't put them at the same level as Scotland or Argentina. I think for me, Argentina, is England's biggest rivalry. There's one team I just never want us to see lose against, and that is Argentina. Give the job to Mike Bassett, says Josh. Well, I mean, God, what a film. What a film. Every World Cup, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, every time the World Cup comes around, you've got to stick that on. Definitely. What a film. But I think that film also reminds us of how far England have come. Because that isn't the England now, but at the time, it summed up the England national team so well. And I think we're a million miles beyond that now, but it's always nice to look back on. Josh Phillip and call up Benson and Edges, yeah. Encore football, neither do I. Having so many German players and managers in the Prem has ended that bad blood. Best free agent managers, Allegri, Potter, Xavi, Lowe and Tuchel. So Tuchel is probably our best bet. Yeah, possibly. Or we stick with Carsley. Ancelotti turned down Brazil last year. Yeah, I mean, I can't see Ancelotti coming to England. I mean, obviously, I could be wrong. Who knows? Who knows? It's difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, managing in Brazil compared to Europe, it's a much bigger life change for him, isn't it? I don't know. It's one of those where anything can happen in football. I would just be very surprised if Ancelotti took the England job. Or if even the FA went for him, if I'm being honest. I think the game against Greece in November is extremely important for the group for both teams automatically making it to League A and the Kozzy management career with England. Problem is his goal difference, depending on what the result is tonight. We could do with Ireland, doing us a favour really. But depending on the result tonight in the other game, let's have a quick look at the score. It's still 0-0, Greece versus Ireland, so let's see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, look, we can still get into League A through a draw. If we finish second in this group, we play a third place team from League A in a 2 knockout game sort of tie. So we could still go up in second. Welbeck for England, says Encore Football. Josh Phillips replying to Gate 102. Yep, and put S'mores on penalties. Russell Osborne, not seeing Germany as a rival is mind blowing as a fan. Yeah, no, I still definitely see Germany as a rivalry. 100%. And trust me, England Germany is still massive, isn't it? It's up there though, alongside Scotland and Argentina for me. But for me, Argentina is just the one where I just think, oh no, I just think all the history. There's a load of things going off there, and I can't stand South American football. It's just cheating, diving. It's just horrible. So yeah, I think Argentina for me is the big one. Ancelotti would most likely go to Brazil or Italy, if any international team. Josh Phillips on cover. Yes, people with elite ball knowledge know Welbeck should be playing for England. New artists, if we don't get into League A, would it make the World Cup draws harder for us? Potentially. Not this time. Not this time round. It wouldn't. I think we are certain to be top seeds for the World Cup draw. 100% certain to be top seeds because of our FIFA World Rankings. Russell Osborne, take on Ancelotti like Tuchel has never managed at international level. That is obviously what I hear a lot, and I know a lot of people are saying for numerous managers like Klopp and Pep as well. But do we think that's a big factor? Do we think the fact that they've never managed at international level is a big factor? I do think it is for Klopp. I think Klopp needs time. He plays a certain way. He wants to play a certain way. I don't think he's going to have the time with the England players to do that. I really don't. And I'm not saying he's a crap manager, as far from it. I'm just saying he's very particular about the players he needs, the players he wants, the way he wants that team to play. He's done the same everywhere he's been. I don't think he's got the time to to for us to adapt to the way he would want us to play. I would say Germany versus Netherlands is the best European international rivalry. Yeah, I mean, I don't know really. I think there's quite a few out there. I would always pick. I mean, England, Argentina. I'd love to see England versus Argentina live. That would be. I would absolutely love that. 16 UEFA teams qualify for the World Cup. If we can't beat a certain team, then England don't have a God-given right to go to the USA. Look, World Cup qualification is difficult. It's much more difficult than the Euros. But the way the groups are working now, because of the expanded World Cup, we may end up with quite a small group. So we may end up with a small, relatively simple group for the World Cup draw. So, look, obviously there's no God-given right we're going to get to a World Cup. I mean, essentially, Italy haven't been to the last two. Let's not forget that. It's completely reasonable to suggest that England may not qualify the same way it is every single time. Do I expect us to qualify? Absolutely, as we all will. I think everyone's right there. We cannot take it for granted or be complacent because, yeah, there could be some very difficult teams in there. As strong, if not better, than Greece in our group. So we've got to up our game. We've got to up our game. And ultimately, you've got to win your group in the European qualification campaign as well. Flick suffered, but at least Tuchel can be pragmatic enough to suit international football. Most South American nations have a rivalry with everyone. Certainly a contributing factor. Mentality has to change. Working day, totally different. Takes a lot of adjustments. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. Absolutely agree. Serbia versus Switzerland is underrated. Gate says Encore Football. Gate 102. I think the players like Carsley, Grealish and Rice both praised him in his interview, and they are two players who have done well under him so far. Absolutely. Match channel, if England go to the final of 2022, we could have played Argentina and I would have had a valid ticket for the game. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things, though. Do I want us to play Argentina in a World Cup final? Now, the default is yes, because what a game. What a game. Just hear me out, though. The pain of losing that, but at the same time, the glory of winning that is sport in a sentence, isn't it? I mean, oh God, I would find that really hard. If we got to a final against Argentina, the thought of losing to Argentina in a final, in any final, is unbearable. But the thought of beating them would be amazing. So I don't know if that is something, if I was going to cherry pick a pathway in who we would meet in the final, because obviously you've got to pick one good team that you'd face in the final. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a bit of a coward's way out, really, but I'm not sure I'd want Argentina in the final of a World Cup. It'd be a bit, that would be intense. That would really, really be intense. I mean, I'm a little bit more optimistic after tonight's chat. I'll be honest with you. I was fed up. I was really fed up after Thursday night. It was just a shambles, and it was the second time this year I'd been to Wembley and seen us get beaten relatively easily by teams that you would expect us to not only beat but beat comfortably in Iceland and Greece, and you just feel like, what is going off? When you've seen all these players and the hype gets you again, it's the hope that gets you again. You know, we were all talking about England should win every single game now for the rest of this year. And we should. You know, it's no disrespect to these teams, but looking at who we've played and the rankings and the squads, England shouldn't be losing at home to Greece, no matter how good Greece are or whatever. You know, England on paper are night and day compared to Greece, but this is football, anything can happen. Greece deserve to win. I was fed up, though, Thursday night. I was really, really down. You know, I was really fed up. Really fed up, particularly when I was driving home. Didn't get back till 1 a.m. I was just thinking, I can't believe I've just been to Wembley and watched that crap. And it was so poor. I couldn't do an England versus Argentina final. The quarterfinal with France hurt a lot already. And that's my point. New artist. That is my point. It would be tough, wouldn't it? But imagine it. Imagine if we beat him in a final. How good would that be? Not much happened from England after Grealish scored until the subs came on. Yeah, so an impact again. And that's obviously England's benefit, and it worked a lot for Southgate. We have players and options off the bench. Always going to be in England's locker room, that is, under this cohort of players. New artist, the defeat to France and Qatar hurt the most for me as we battered them at Gate 102. And no one ever listens when you lose. I'm adamant. England were the better team that night. England were the better team that night to me. We thoroughly deserved to beat them and go through to the semi-final. But Kane decided to have a 4-iron for a foot at the vital penalty, didn't he? Russell Osborne, match channel, we've not lost Argentina in the last 2 games played against them. No, we've actually got a good record against them, haven't we? Which was surprising. In fact, we've got a good record against almost every nation, apart from 4 or 5, I think. But yeah, we've got a really good record against Argentina. Some cracking games. Absolutely cracking games we've had. Let me check the score in the Greece-Ireland game. 22 minutes gone, everyone. 0-0. What's happened here? Just the Irish with a chance. I think Ireland have Ireland missed a sitter? No, I don't think they have. Currently 71% to the Greeks, 29% to Ireland. Oh yeah, Greece are definitely having the better of it anyway. Well, according to the stats anyway, Greece are definitely on top. Josh Phillip as the member. If we'd have beat France in that quarterfinal, I think we would have gone on to win the 2022 World Cup personally. Josh, honestly, I can't wait for you all to see my video, this video I'm doing on why England can't win anything, because there's so many of those moments where if we'd have just won that, maybe we would have gone on and won it. And yeah, there's a load of things I cover. Loads of things. Russell 3-2. Owen scored 2 late on. Yeah, the header in the last minute or so, wasn't it? I think it was a ball in from Joe Cole. Really good performance. I remember Owen's celebration where he was just like grabbing his head and jumping down the line. Yeah, it's quality. England played really well that night as well. France versus Argentina is tasty. Look, the problem is South American teams, the filth. And honestly, they'll rob their own grandmother to win a game. I'm not even joking. So any game with a South American team, you're just going to get all sorts of crap going off, and it's going to be intense and a bit tasty. They just do anything to win. Right, back is a concern for me. Don't trust Trent defensively. Walker, I thought, looked shaky and isn't getting any younger. Whilst Lewis never stays at right back, maybe Livramento deserves a chance. I mean, Rico Lewis, he's been found wanting, hasn't he? He has been found wanting over these past couple of games. Definitely. And you're right. The fullback positions all of a sudden are looking vulnerable. Where are England's fullbacks? Trent is phenomenal. I mean, what a goal he scored tonight. What a goal. It's phenomenal in terms of the passing and everything else. But he's not. Yeah, there's still questions about his defensive capabilities. If England had beaten France, I'm sure England would have beaten Morocco. Yeah, it's just we were better than France that night. I'll be honest with you. That World Cup in Qatar, I think England played the best football under Southgate. In fact, probably the best football I've seen us play in a tournament, apart from that US game. But we were really good. When do you think the documentary you're doing will be done, Garrett? It sounds good. I'm aiming for November. Like when these next round of fixtures come for England, I'm aiming to get it done for then. I'll be honest with you, I've never done anything like this before, like so big. I'm shooting in different locations, going out to different people, interviewing different people. So it's taken me a lot longer. I'm just aiming for that, but I'm doing it after work, at weekends, stuff like that. I've made the intros mainly done and a few bits and bobs, but yeah, I'll keep you posted. But that's when I'm aiming for, November. Tonight was a professional performance, no endless hordes of attacks like Thursday night with no plan or purpose. Match channel, England should be trying to beat Greece away at least 0-2. I still think Walker at right back is more secure than Alexander, especially after that Greece game. Yeah, no, defensively, 100%. 100%. Our best bet for me at left back is obviously Shaw, but after him, maybe Livramento is always solid. I mean, Shaw has just been injured for years. It seems like he's been injured forever. Yeah, facts, Gary, about 2022 World Cup. Gate 102. I watched the 21s on Friday and Lewis Hall was brilliant. A left back who is left footed, something we haven't got in the squad. Hopefully see him in the November squad. Yeah, I did watch the game as well. It was actually, England played well. I mean, we should have won that game a bit more comfortably than what it ended up being. A couple of late goals, but yeah, no, absolutely. Played really, really well. And England under 21s are through to the tournament after that result, beating Ukraine. I thought Trent did all right where he played tonight. Got involved a lot. Had 130 touches, which is ridiculous, to be honest. Josh, I mean, yeah, he wants the ball. He wants the ball, but is he a right back? You're absolutely right. Got involved. Brilliant goal. Put some brilliant crosses in. Really in the mix. Wants to get on the ball a lot, but is he a right back? Is he a right back? No one's doubting his talent. It's just that position. Can't wait to see the documentary. Sounds a brilliant idea. Thanks, Gate 102. Hope everyone enjoys it. I'm going to the 21 game on Tuesday night. Can't wait for. Oh, brilliant, Josh. Oh, fantastic, mate. Hope you have a good one. Yes, mate. I'm gonna have a look. Who are we playing? I've not even had a look. Tuesday night. Oh, Azerbaijan. Which ground's it at? Where's it at? It's not even telling me on here. What ground's it at, Josh? I only ever really go to England at 21 games when it's near me. Same as most people, really. I mean, England should batter Azerbaijan. Looking at the group, I mean, they're bottom with only 3 points, conceded 19 goals. England are second in the group currently, behind Ukraine, 2 points behind Ukraine. Almost completed. Bristol City. Ah, yes, I do remember you mentioning now. Last week, I think. Yeah, I do remember on last week's live stream you mentioned that. Brilliant stuff, mate. Hope you have a good one. Looks a good ground as well. Gate 102 podcast. Cheers, mate. Really looking forward to it. We've got a great squad this time, says Josh. Match channel, is Tyreek Mitchell still a shout at left back, or have I banged that drum enough? No, I mean, everyone's an option left back. Everybody is an option left back because we haven't got one. No one's cemented that place. I thought Lewis was going to be the one. Again, after the first couple of fixtures that he had under Lee Carsley, I thought he was going to cement it, but he's struggled a little bit. But I wouldn't rule anybody out, in claiming that left back spot. Encore Football says I think Tyreek has no chance. Yeah, maybe he does, but I just think it's wide open. I really do. It's there for someone to claim. Is essentially what we're all agreeing here. But I think there's a few names being thrown about. So, everyone's chucking different names in. It's someone's just to come in and claim. Got to feel bad for you, man. You spent that money to go to that game only to be embarrassed. How much do the Wembley tickets cost? It's not that bad. Look, if you're in the supporters club, well, if you're in the England Travel Supporters Club, England Supporters Travel Club, sorry, you're supposed or possibly supposed to be able to get tickets for £25, which isn't obviously a lot of money. But, and there is a big but here, England haven't, or the FA don't reserve enough £25 tickets for each travel club member. So if you're not quick and buying tickets, you don't get them for £25. So let's say, for example, the Ireland game next month. To be honest, this is the first time in a long time I've not been able to get them for £25. But we've ended up paying £40 for the tickets for Ireland, which is a bit frustrating because you pay to be obviously a member of the travel club and you're essentially paying the same price as everybody else. Well, probably a little bit cheaper than some others, and you still get first priority to buy the tickets. But it is a bit annoying when a load of other travel club members, because they weren't at work or they had better access through their internet and the system was playing up, they were able to get £25 tickets when others weren't. I think it's a bit unfair. There is a big growth of travel club members at the moment. There's a huge amount of numbers on there in the travel club. I can't remember the exact amount, but a lot more than what there usually is. I think the FA need to look at expanding that. I mean, it's a 90,000 seat stadium, for God's sake. So they need to essentially the allocated number of £25 tickets are still the same amount as what there were available when the travel club was much smaller, when not many people were joining. They haven't expanded it alongside people joining the travel club, so it does need looking at for me. But obviously, the ticket's just one part. You've got fuel, you've got, you're booking annual leave off work. I booked 2 days off. I need it to be able to travel down there in the day, and then I need it for the following day because I don't get back till early hours in the morning. So you got food, petrol, parking can cost a lot of money to spend the day there. It all adds up. Even if you get a ticket for £25, you can easily spend 150, 200 quid just to go and watch England for a day once you've added it all in. So it is very, very expensive. We saw Colwell play at left back in September. Yeah, Levi Colwell, definitely a good one. I paid about 35. Yeah, they range 25, 35, 40 quid. I think when you go in general sales, some tickets can be 50, 60 quid. So you still do get them a bit cheaper, but it is a bit annoying. It's a shambles, says Russell Osborne. 27,000, yeah, so there's 27,000 people in the travel club at the minute. And not obviously everyone goes to those games, but it means 27,000 people essentially have the right for priority tickets, and there isn't 27,000 £25 tickets available, which I get, but at the same time, the FA do need to expand it because they haven't expanded it in a long time. I'm in the upper corner between the benches and the £25 stand, says Match Channel. Bagani, who was our worst player this campaign? Do you mean, what? Do you mean over these last 2 games? God. Who has been our worst player Thursday and Sunday? I mean, Palmer's not been great. I hate to single him out, but Palmer's not been good at all, and he played both games. I mean, Rice. If Rice hadn't have scored, I'd say Rice. I'm not. I keep picking on Rice, but I've not been a fan of him at all. Josh Phillips to go to the game against Ireland in November. Still tickets available for £45 on the Wembley website. Really, well, get them booked, mate, because I thought they were going to sell out. It seems like with the travel club members, and they've been extremely popular, but maybe not as popular then with the general public. So, £45 a ticket, mate. Get yourself on it. Foden is not bad, but his goals, assist, output is low. He's just, and that's what he's there for, Encore, isn't it? Essentially, you're in that area of the pitch. You've got to be scoring, and you've got to be assisting. At least in a full calendar year. I didn't go to the Greece, but where I was refereeing to will be for that Ireland game. Foden invisible again, says Josh Fitty was. I mean, was Foden that bad to be called the worst player we've had over these, this 4 days, possibly? He was very poor. But Pickford was horrific against Greece, non-existent decision-making or composure. I mean, he had that bit at the beginning, but, I mean, I wouldn't blame Pickford for any of the goals, though. He was just completely isolated the whole game. It annoys me with Foden. He's obviously a world-class player, says Josh, and is for City, but he never plays well for us. Now, he just can't seem to get in the game, can he? And he gets easily bullied off the ball. He can't seem to pick a pass out. Only just signed up to the ESTC. How long does it take for caps to be allocated after a game? Oh God, it can take. Well, I was saying that. Usually within a month. I don't know really. It can vary a little bit, but they will come through. They will come through. In fact, it can take longer than that. I'm sure it has done previously. I'm not on board with the anti-Rice. Greece, he was consistently left on his own due to the formation tonight. He was better. Yeah, no, I would agree. He was completely isolated. I think I'm getting on at Rice a little bit, going back to the Euros, where I do think he was crap. And that is an hill I'm willing to die on. I thought Rice was terrible at the Euros, but yeah, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on him now. I have started to rate Ollie Watkins ever since the Denmark game. We were saying that earlier, Bagani. Every time he's come on, he's played really, really well. So maybe it's a chance to give him a starting position up front. Post-Italy 2023, Foden had one good game since his best game was probably that 5-2 versus Spain in the youth final. God, some time ago. New artist. Last time I remember Foden playing decently well was the Netherlands. Yeah, he did actually have an alright game against them, didn't he? Foden had a great game in the semi-final against the Dutch. Yeah, so Russell's saying that as well. He did have a good game that night. He did. In fact, that is, but it's and this is for England, and this isn't just Foden. I mean, for the England national team, that Netherlands game stands out as one of our better performances across the calendar year so far. If we're being honest, I mean the Ireland game was very good. Yeah, the Netherlands game we played very, very well. That is the one game where it does stand out to me in terms of we put in a performance that night. That was what the one game I was reffing to, says Match Channel. It's just England are in a bit of a transition. We're in a bit of a transition. There's clearly talented players there. The key now is getting these players to work in a system and in a team. And it means big players will have to miss out. And us as fans, we have to realise this. We've got to realise it. Everyone's going to want their star man to play, their club player to play or whatever. Same as always. They're all amazing individually. They're not playing as a team, though, in a minute. We've got to find who's playing alongside Rice and get that the midfield. It's controlling that midfield. The creativity in that midfield still isn't there. It's still relying on the strikers doing something up front. There still needs to be... There's not that playmaker in midfield at the minute. And it feels like we've got him in the squad, such as a Foden and Bellingham, but they're not quite doing it. So we need to get to the bottom of that. Which game do you think Kane had a good game in the Euros? Oh, God. Did he have a good game? I mean, he finished joint top goal scorer, didn't he, at the Euros? Josh Phillips, I think you have been a bit harsh on Rice, if I'm honest. I think he's doing a decent job personally. He can see some, but can see some of your arguments though. Yeah, maybe I am being a little bit harsh on him. Maybe I am. I honestly do think he had a very poor Euros, but it's not saying much. Everyone had a poor Euros, but well, most players had a poor Euros, but yeah, maybe I am being a little bit harsh on him. It's still interesting how Mainu didn't get any minutes, obviously, this time round. I mean, fair play to Carsley. He's definitely brought in. Bringing Gomez in has been the shining light of Carsley's time in charge over these 4 games so far. It's been a great call. It's been an absolute great call. Bringing in Gomez. He's really been a bit of a standout player for England since he started. Before Netherlands semi-final, I remember Foden going well in Italy 3-1, Scotland away, Senegal. I mean, the Senegal game, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Encore football, I don't think anyone is a Lille fan in the chat. Gate 102, Adam Wharton is a player I would like to see given a go as well, maybe for the expense of another midfielder. Oh, God, Mainu did pull out, didn't he? I forgot he pulled out. Good point, Russell. Let me have a look. I'm just going to have a look at the Ireland score, see if I can... date are we on? 13th. 0-0. 39 minutes in. Wish we could have played well in the final against Spain, similar to the Netherlands. Yeah, I mean, Spain were the better team. Let's be real, Spain were the better team by a long way. Yeah, spot on, Gary. We've got an incredible amount of talent now, and with players like Gomez also coming in, we have a ridiculous amount of talent in midfield and out wide especially. Yeah, it's just getting them to play, isn't it? It's just getting them to play together. I mean, we've seen Gordon, Bowen's been dropped from this squad. We're not even talking about Rashford anymore. Saka's been injured really for most of this. I mean, he came off. What was it after the first half in the first game? Palmer, Foden. There's a lot of players there. We just, for some reason, we're still struggling to create. I mean, good to see Grealish scoring though. On an earlier point, I don't think Pickford did much wrong for the Greece goals, and the defence was the problem. I mean, the whole squad was a problem, mate. Running around like headless chickens. Absolutely running around like headless chickens. Let's have a quick look at the poll. Should England stick with Lee Carsley? 26 votes, 58% yes, 42% no. I've got to say, that surprises me. I thought the majority would have gone no tonight. Very interesting. Very interesting, those poll results. If you haven't done so, make sure you find it on the chat. I think you can find it right at the start. I don't know how it works now. I don't know how it looks for you guys. But yeah, if you haven't yet voted on this week's poll, please make sure you do so. Sancho and Sterling haven't played for England since 2022. Yeah, I don't think they're like... I mean, Sancho maybe. He's got age on his side, hasn't he? But Sterling, maybe he is done. He is done for England. Gate 102 podcast, yes, he's someone who would be a good player, I reckon. Playing Wharton in the 6th role would allow Rice to push forward a bit more as well, says Josh Phillips in reply to Gate 102. Rice has looked better higher up in recent games for England. Yeah, the problem is everyone needs to play in that higher up area of the pitch, and this is what Lee Carsley struggled to do, and it made us look absolutely ridiculous. And I get it. I mean, imagine all of us here now, if we're coming in as Lee Carsley, how many years have we had watching Southgate apparently, as people say, have the handbrake on? All this nonsense. You've then got a squad in front of you of Palmer, Bellingham, Foden, Saka, Kate, all these players. The temptation not to put them all on the pitch and just say, go and do what you want, lads. In other words, just, go and play with freedom. Let's see what you can do. The temptation not to do that the temptation to do that, would have been huge. I get it. I completely get why he's gone a bit fantasy football on it and thought, go on then, lads. Let's give the fans what they want. It's like we're playing FIFA. Just stick them all on. Get them all on. Let's see what we can do. We'll score 8 past these by half time. It obviously doesn't work like that. And it did show his immaturity as a manager. Nothing wrong with dropping Pickford. Keeps him on his toes. He looked a little suspect against Greece. Gareth Southgate done the same against Scotland. Selected Ramsdale. Pickford be back against Greece. Yeah, and that's the point. And I think that's a good point you're making, Russell. Everyone has to be droppable. dropping Pickford tonight, dropping Foden tonight. It's a message, and it's the right message. When we've got players in reserve who can come in and do a very good job and a good enough job, it's important that these players are dropped. If they're not doing it, you've got to drop them. It's the message that you need to send out to get those performances back up. It's a shot in the arm, isn't it? It really is. Henderson was all right today. I say that in a positive way. Yeah, he was all right. He was all right for what he had to do. Yeah, I can't. And he was all right with the ball at his feet as well, which was really good to see. England Player of the Week. Now, obviously, this is usually on here for when there's Premier League and club football, but obviously it's been an international break this week. Obviously, there was some football early on in the week, but who's the England player? Who's our standout performer over these past 4 days? Is there anyone standing out? I mean, ultimately, you may pick a player who's only played one of the games over the past 4 days because the first game was that bad. Who is the standout player? Match Channel's coming straight in with Jack Grealish. Yeah, I think it's a good shout. He had a very good game tonight. Gomez, I would chuck in there as well. Had a very good game tonight. Trent, I think he was really good tonight. Ollie Watkins, yeah. I mean, he didn't play a lot at all. Gomez, for me, was a huge part of the win tonight. Yeah, I agree. Gate 102 says Grealish as well, so a couple more votes for Grealish. Oh, and Gomez too, says Match Channel. I mean, I would agree. I would agree with those. 3 players there that I think Stones played both. What do you think, Russell? Think he played? I mean, we'll forget the first game. Well, end of the day, Stones was very much on his own, really. Would we say Stones has had a good tournament, good international break? Grealish is another good shout. TAA is a good shout. Yeah, I think Trent's been all right. Trent was too bad in the first game to get this week's board. Yeah, fair enough. Or was it the system? Maybe. I mean, did we just pick a player from tonight? Did we write Thursday off and just say everyone was shit? Let's just judge it on tonight. Who was the best player tonight? When we lost to Greece, I thought to myself, "Here comes negativity, Nancy Manager 2." I mean, maybe scrapping Thursday night in this vote for this week is possibly a good idea. I'm trying to think if anyone did show any sort of signs on Thursday, and I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling to think of someone. So maybe we do knock that on the head. Because I mean, I hear the shouts for Trent and Stones and stuff like that, but I mean, on Thursday night, along with everybody else, they got run ragged, didn't they? I'd say Gomez needed a player like him for years. Not a big fan, but does all the dirty work and simple stuff, so he's so crucial for us, in my opinion. Thank goodness Kaza didn't go full Southgate tonight. Gahey was great again today. Should have got England Player of the Year, in my opinion. I mean, the England Player of the Year thing is a weird vote because Saka, I think, has won it for the past couple of years. And obviously, England Player of the Year, some people have taken that as the England play, like someone who played for England this year. And obviously, Palmer really had. I mean, he has. He obviously has. He was in the Euro squad, but he hasn't played that many games or minutes for England this year. But obviously, in terms of his performance in the Premier League, he's been outstanding. So I think overall, in terms of an England player across the leagues and everything, I think Palmer was the deserved winner. Whether he's been England's national player of the international player of the year, probably not. Maybe you would put, I don't know, difficult one. I would put Gahey in there, really, like you've just said. Most of them just sucked overall, but not many really stood out. Bellingham was okay on Thursday. Didn't quite come off for him, but you could see he was giving it absolutely everything. Stick with Trent. Some good passes Thursday. Great goal tonight. Yeah, maybe England Player of the Week. First Gomez, second Grealish, third Bellingham, in my opinion. Okay, so there's quite a few. I mean, I would say, let's have a look. Is there more votes for... Scrolling back through the chat, I can see 3 or so votes for Gomez. Couple for Grealish. Less so for Bellingham, though. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, maybe between Gomez, Grealish and Trent. Possibly where it's going. I'm happy with Josh's, even though I'm a bit more tempted by Grealish. Okay, Josh gets the deciding factor as the member tonight. Absolutely right, mate. First Gomez, second Grealish, third Bellingham. I think it is fair. I think it would be fair though to stick Trent in there somewhere, particularly because of his free kick, and he played very well tonight. He's one of our outstanding players tonight. So I do think maybe can we put Trent in above Bellingham, Gomez, Grealish, Trent. Gay is a defender of the year, and Mainu is midfielder of the year, and Saka is attacker of the year. Says Bagani. Yeah. I mean, Saka was really good at the Euros, one of our better players. Maybe we'll do we will do on the quiz. We'll pick our England Player of the Year. I know Palmer's won it, but in terms of International Player of the Year, Alexander Arnold at 4th at best, says Match Channel. Yeah, I thought it was a bit odd Palmer won that award. It should be a combination of how they played for club and country, and that would be Saka for me. I think if you're going off club and country, I'd agree. Saka would probably win that. Yeah, that's fair. Trent 3rd instead of Jude, says Josh. Brilliant. I think then, fan of the week. I do want to obviously give Josh a shout out being the first member, and looking back through the chat, he's contributed loads tonight. So big shout out, Josh. Definitely up there this week, 100%. I'm going back through the chat as well. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, I'm sort of regretting having this because everyone, Gate 102, Bagani when you've come on Matt's channel, Russell, always contributing. It's great. It is really good. New artist, Encore Football. I mean, it's a tough one. I am going to regret putting this on as an agenda item. Really, I've done it to give a shout out to people who are really, chuck it in with the chat. But you've all been really engaged tonight. To be fair, Palmer made important contributions at the Euros semi-final and final. Yeah, he did. Palmer did it when he was needed to at the Euros. When he was asked, he was there. Now, without Mainu coming in, we don't get to the final. Him and Rice was our best duo. It says Footy Heritage. Interesting. I will have to put a poll out. I think there's going to be a few players there. We'll make a short list. You could say against Switzerland too, says Match Channel. Yeah. I mean, Mainu was one. We've got to remember, stuff changes quite quickly in football. At the Euros, Mainu was very much the flavour of the month just before going there. Everyone was like, we need to get Mainu in. He was playing really well. Had a relatively good tournament for us as well when he was called in. I think Mainu was a good shout. Looking at this year's results as a whole, we have been poor. So Solomon Charles, yeah, no, I agree, mate. I was saying this earlier. We've been, when I say poor, we've been inconsistent for a good year and a half now. I do think it's really, a good year and a half. We've been quite consistent. I think it's a sign of the community you've got here, to be honest. Everyone contributes really well on the lives, I think. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. It's brilliant. It's really good. There's a small group of us now that come on, and this is what it's all about. Absolutely love it. Particularly after, how good is it after an international break? And this week, straight after the England game, we can all come on and digest it. Really, really good stuff. Because I was frustrated. But I always feel a bit better after coming on these. There's more hope. I was really down at I was like, we're not going to qualify for the World Cup. Stuck in League B. Thursday night, I was just like, oh my God. So fed up. Draw to Belgium. Yeah, only just though. Definitely. Lost to Brazil. Mainu versus Gomez will be head-to-head next month. Stank out the Euros. Granted, got results. And a loss to Iceland and Finland. Greece. Yeah, no, Solomon, you're absolutely right. We've lost 4 this year. We've lost 4 times this year. Not a good year at all. I think definitely. Not so much. The performance against Brazil at Wembley was terrible. But we've lost 3 times at Wembley this year. Greece, Brazil, and Iceland. It's not great, is it? It's not great. Granted Brazil. But Brazil, when they were rocking up, they just had a new manager. They were struggling in their qualification for the World Cup. Brazil were rocking up to us, not in form at all. And we made them look like the Brazil of 1998 in 2002. So yeah, it's been a poor year. We definitely stank the Euros out. But all I would say in that defence is everybody did, apart from Spain. And we had that big team mentality to get over the line and do what was needed. But at the minute, it is a struggle. It is a struggle watching England at the minute. Hopefully that bodes well to getting some home tickets for at £25 for the World Cups, for the World Cup qualification draw. But no, anyway, we've been on an hour and 11 minutes. I think that's it for this week. Thank you all so much for joining me. Very interesting week. Let me get the dates on for the next England fixtures, and we'll have a quick look at the score as well. So England are next in action on the 14th of November in Greece. 7:45 kickoff. 14th of November is a Thursday night again. And then the 17th, so it's another Thursday and Sunday. So we'll do the same combination. We finish with Ireland at home. So on the 17th, live stream straight after that. England will know where we are. I'll see. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll keep doing the live streams, but we'll have England again, and obviously I'll be. In fact, no, the Sunday the 17th, because we're at home, that may not be a live stream night. In fact, it probably won't be. I'll be at the game. So yeah, 17th of November, everyone. Maybe not a live stream night, but I'll do on the Monday night. We'll have to do it on the Monday night. Cheers, Gary. Brilliant show as always. Really enjoyed it. Have a good week. Yep. I hope everyone has a great week, whatever you're doing. How will Sunday work next month with the last game being on the same day? Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry I didn't say that, but I've just explained. So I'll do a live stream on the Monday. I'll be at Wembley again in November. Yeah, me too. So good to see anyone there. Russell, anyone going to Greece? Cheers, Gary. Great show again. See you all next week. No, thank you, Josh. First member. Legend. Absolute legend. Hang on. Half time, Greece Ireland 0-0. So I think that's a really good place to finish it. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind that result. Stick at that, then it really is in England's hands, isn't it? Yeah, let's see. Nice one, Gary. Says Match Channel. Josh Phillip, love art, sound lads. Russell, I don't think anyone. I think there is some people in here from the Travel Club. I'm sure I bumped into some people at Wembley before, and they've usually, said they're going to games and stuff, but it doesn't look like anyone's on tonight. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all on my next video, live stream next Sunday, and hopefully, if I can get this this documentary I'm doing out before those games in November, I will do. But if not, I'll see you all on my next video and my live stream. So thank you all so much. Have a great week. Catch you all later.